Hello everyone. Welcome to Turkish series stars. All the details are in our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share our video before we dive in. Thank you so much for being here. Tonight, the spotlight isn't on awards, ratings, or premiere nights. It's on a confession that shook the quiet of a live broadcast and sent fandoms into a frenzy. Not for his latest performance, not for a project announcement, but for his heart. Yes, we're talking about Barış Baktaş. And the name everyone immediately whispered in response? Yağmur Yüksel. What happened? A mother spoke. Not a manager, not a PR rep, not a steering committee, his own mother. And she spoke with the kind of sincerity that you can't manufacture. During a live program, with cameras rolling and a studio hushed in curiosity, she looked down for a second, composed herself, and said words no one expected to hear so openly. I haven't seen Barış like this in years. He's in love. That was it, the sentence that split the evening in two. Before it, rumor. After it, a tidal wave. Of course, all eyes turned to the same place. The chemistry that audiences had been talking about for months on Consisekleri, the gentle glances that lingered a bit too long in behind-the-scenes footage, the laughter that seemed to continue even after someone yelled cut. Fans had stitched together a quilt of possibilities from tiny threads of on-set warmth. And yet, neither Barış nor Yağmur had ever confirmed, never denied, leaving everyone to sit in that delicious space between hope and guessing. But a mother's voice carries a different kind of truth. The host, sensing the electricity in the studio, did what every viewer at home wanted to do. Leaning forward, careful but eager, the question came, are you referring to Yağmur Yüksel? It was polite, but it landed like a strike of lightning. Barış's mother smiled, a quiet, knowing smile that didn't need translation. I won't name names, she said softly, but everyone knows who I'm talking about. And just like that, no names, yet everything said. Within minutes, the internet lit up. Social media filled with messages, threads, and feverish edits. It's official, love walked right off the set, wrote one fan. Others posted clips from their most tender scenes on Consisekleri, framing them as if reality had been winking at us this whole time. The phrase real love spilled from the series trended as though it had been waiting backstage for its cue. People weren't just talking about a flirtation anymore. They were talking about a story that felt natural, inevitable, like it grew where admiration, trust, and timing met. But let's not forget the other half of the equation, silence. While the excitement raged, while opinions piled up, one person chose not to add a single word. Yağmur Yüksel, elegant as always in her restraint, posted nothing, liked nothing, commented on nothing. And yet, her quiet became its own headline. Under photos and interviews, her followers wrote, her silence says enough. This glow on her face is not random. We see it, even if she won't say it. Sometimes, silence has a voice. Meanwhile, there's Barış, glimpsed by those who work with him every day, showing a lighter step, a different kind of focus. On set, a few said he had a look that didn't fade when the cameras stopped. In rehearsals, in breaks between takes, in those late evenings when only a few lights burn in the studio, the air around him was described as soft, content, anchored by something, or someone, beautiful. And that brings us back to the same name, the one the host dared to say out loud, Yağmur. What made his mother's words resonate so deeply wasn't just what she said, but the way she said it, as if she recognized the boy in her son again. There is a brightness in his eyes, she added during the broadcast, not trying to hide her emotion. I hear it in how he speaks. I feel it in his smile. It's love. I know it. No one needed her to spell out anything after that. The message reached the people it was meant to reach. The love story that fans theorized about on Consisekleri suddenly felt plausible beyond the script. Their on-screen tenderness didn't look practiced. It looked lived. And when the host pressed gently, asking again, is it Yağmur, the same coy smile returned. I won't give a name, she repeated, but her eyes told their own story. In a world of headlines built on calculated statements, this was something else. This was a heartbeat made public. The effect was immediate. A clip of the exchange raced across timelines, spliced with moments of hand touches, shared laughter in between takes, and that one look at the award show that had already been dissected frame by frame. Overnight, comments multiplied, no more hiding. They've protected it long enough. We knew it, love doesn't lie. Others were protective, arguing that perhaps the two chose privacy in an industry that rarely leaves room for a quiet beginning. Their point wasn't lost. Not every love story needs to be performed to be real. Still, the questions keep coming. Is this a soft launch? Is this the beginning of being seen together off-set? Will they step out without the camouflage of a production schedule, without the safety of a script? The whispers now speak of timing, of careful steps, of a romance nurtured away from the neon. If this was the first crack of the door, it felt intentional, just open enough to let in air. Friends close to the production have long hinted that the connection between them was not a rumor tossed carelessly between tabloids. It was noticed in the respectful way they worked, in how they defended each other's choices, in how they navigated long days and late nights like partners, even when the scene demanded something heavy. That kind of closeness doesn't seek attention, but it doesn't hide either. It simply exists, and people notice. One moment from the live broadcast keeps looping in everyone's mind. The host, curious but careful, asked, "Is it someone he works with?" And the mother nodded, as if that was the easiest answer in the world. "He is happy," she said. "That's all that matters to me." The studio fell quiet for a second, the kind of quiet that follows truth. It wasn't an announcement so much as a blessing. Now, the gravity of this isn't lost on fans of Consisekleri. They've watched Barış and Yagmur carry a love story on screen with a softness that feels rare. They've watched the growth of a bond that can't be faked, the rhythm of two people who listen to each other, who push each other to be better, who find a home in the effort it takes to tell a story well. Perhaps the line between fiction and reality has always been thinner than it looks. After the broadcast, speculation pivoted to logistics. Will they attend an event side by side? Will a photo surface from a quiet dinner, a discreet exit, a drive that leaves no doubt? Some swore they'd seen them leave a set gathering in the same car, others claimed a neighborhood cafe had become their weekend refuge. Nothing conclusive, yet everything suggestive. Enough to keep the conversation alive without dragging it into the harshest light. Through all of this, what has remained consistent is the tenderness. Even the hottest takes couldn't scorch it. Fans are rooting for something that feels earned. They want to protect it as much as they want to celebrate it. And if you scroll far enough, you'll see messages like, "If they're keeping it quiet, let's respect that," and, "When they're ready, they'll tell us. Until then, we'll be here." That kind of devotion doesn't arrive by accident. It's built by trust. Let's be clear, this wasn't planned press. It wasn't a campaign, or a staged reveal. It was a mother, watching her son, recognizing love like a familiar song. The strength of that image made noise impossible to ignore. Suddenly, all the previous hesitations from both sides looked less like uncertainty and more like protection. When something matters, the first instinct is to hold it close. Even so, the viral engine did what it always does. Videos cropped into perfect little loops. Edits were layered with slow-motion glances and lines from their most intense scenes in Consisekleri. The idea that love overflowed from the series didn't just trend, it crystallized. The internet found a story that made sense to it, that explained each soft touch, each half-smile. And within the swirl of opinion, one truth kept landing: if it is love, it has the right to unfold on its own terms. What about Yagmur's silence? For now, it stands without apology. She's always played the long game with her image, measured, calm, a step ahead of the noise. Those who pay attention have noted a steady glow, the kind that isn't crafted by filters or angles. Her colleagues say she has been focused, present, grounded. And for some, that says more than a caption or a cryptic post ever could. As for Barış, those near him echo what his mother revealed, though with fewer words. They describe an ease in him, a softness that fits him comfortably. A person in love does not need to announce it to be recognized. It shows, in the pauses, in the kindness that spills into every interaction, in the way the day just seems lighter. If his eyes have been brighter lately, who's to argue? Those who know, know. The host's question, "Are you referring to Yagmur Yüksel?" will be replayed for weeks, maybe months. The smile that followed will be dissected, flattened, animated into 1,000 interpretations. But perhaps the most accurate reading is also the simplest. It was the smile of someone who trusts what love looks like. A smile that protects as much as it reveals. And here we are, with a story that began as a whisper on set, grew through cautious glances and careful boundaries, and now stands at the edge of being seen. The closest people to them talk about patience. About grace. About the choice to love without spectacle. Yet even they admit that after that live broadcast, it feels like only a matter of time before we see them somewhere, together, without shadows or escape routes. Not because they owe anyone proof, but because love has a way of stepping into the light when it's ready. Until then, the fan base will keep doing what it does, watching, reading, stitching moments into meaning. Clips from Consisekleri will continue to be paired with teasing captions. Candid photos will be scrutinized for clues. Any accidental overlap in wardrobes will become evidence. It's all part of the dance. But beneath the dance, there is a quiet truth, the one a mother slipped into the world like a secret she was finally willing to share. He is in love. The beauty of this moment is that it hasn't tried to be more than it is. The confession wasn't loud, but it didn't need to be. It was enough to shift the ground, enough to send hearts racing. And to anyone wondering what comes next, the answer may be as gentle as the beginning, more of the same. More care, more privacy, more tenderness. And when they are ready, maybe a photograph not crafted but caught. Two people who found each other where the lights are bright and the expectations are heavy, and chose, anyway. In an industry that feeds on speculation, it's almost radical to respond with grace. But that's what we've witnessed here. From the first tremor of that live broadcast to the ripples touching every corner of the fandom, the story has been soft but sure. Barış Baktaş and Yagmur Yüksel, names that already carried weight together on screen, now spoken together in a different register. If love did indeed wander off the set and into real life, then perhaps the most honest thing to do is exactly what they've done, hold it gently, and let it grow. We'll keep watching. We'll keep listening. And we'll keep honoring the line between curiosity and care. Because sometimes, the best endings are simply new beginnings that don't need an announcement to feel real. For now, that look in his eyes, the steadiness in her calm, and a mother's tender certainty are enough to tell us what we needed to hear. We've reached the end of our video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe to Turkish series stars and share this video with fellow fans. Until next time, take care and stay tuned for more.